Hello, everyone. Welcome to another IT Career Talk with Professionals. And today we have a full stack developer. But before we continue, of course, we will always like to invite every one of you to like and subscribe our channel. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you can. So my guest today is Chris Wayne Comendador. Hello, Chris.
Hi, Rafi. Thank you for the invitation.
Right. So, Chris,
And
let's get.
hi, guys, to all watching.
Yes. So, Chris, can you describe to us what a full stack developer is?
Okay. So, a full stack developer, basically, your role is, from end to end of the software development cycle. My workload varies, depending on our tasks and depending on the needs. But mainly, I handle work related to, designing pages for our websites, uh, because we're actually maintaining two websites for Tutorials Dojo, and then I'm also building custom features for our site, and we usually based it on the feedback of the users, not like us giving the features to these users. We're basing more our feedback or our features more on the based on request of the users, and then going to the database issues. I also try to solve if there are database issues in our the structure, and then and then monitoring our uh, cloud resources. So if you notice, it's medyo spread yung
Right.
workload.
So, I guess the question here is, what level of skills do you have to have both on the front and back? No, are they like you have to be super expert on both sides?
Mm-hmm. So that's a really good question, Rafi. Normally people would expect to be a full stack developer. You'll have to have very high level of expertise on both front end and back end. And yes, that would really help a lot if
Mhm.
you are really good at. You have an expert. You are really an expert. But if you want to do normally as a full stack developer, you have like the average level on each of the part of the work. So front end, you have I know styling and scripts, JavaScript, but to the level I'm better than a really good front end developer. The same thing with back end developer. I know how to read scripts and try to develop scripts to work with database. But if you ask me, compared to a very professional that has been doing back end developer since, you can really see difference. But the main key difference, the main difference is that I can actually look for those. Say for example, there's a requirement.
Mhm.
What's good thing with a full stack developer is that you kind of know how to work with both uh, end of the stack. So you can do front end, you can do back end, and then you're able to understand what I need, what you need, and then try to find those things if you don't really know about it.
Right.
So it's quite spread thin if you are a full stack developer compared to when you are a dedicated backend developer and a front end dedicated front end developer.
Right, right. And in terms of time, how much time do you spend on being a front or on the back or maybe infrastructure? How's the time spent?
Mhm. So normally I would be on specific. We have actually projects that we want to accomplish. Say for example, there's a a specific feature that we want to build.
Hmm.
Normally I spend less time doing the front end over doing the back end, but there's no specific time to as to which because problems vary from time to time. But normally I really spend lesser time working on front end development than doing back end. So, and then also of course it also varies depending on the complexity of the problem. So yeah, normally on a day, because sometimes I do like whole week all back end, because there's a feature that but it should be more focused on back end than actually developing the designs and colors and typography for so sometimes it can be like that. And sometimes I also work like whole just front end for the whole week,
Right.
depending on the need.
When you're a full stack developer, do you still work with a team, or do you work with other full stack developers, or do you normally work with, like you said, front end
Oh yes,
developers and
definitely.
back end
I still work
developers?
with a team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in our team, we our technical team is called we call our team the DevSecOps team. So DevSecOps, development, security, and then operations. In our team, we are actually three plus our CEO and founder. So we're four. Normally, if we are able to finish the work on our level, we try to finish those issues on our level. But the moment we get stuck for like maybe 4 hours, 8 hours, or maybe 2 3 days working on a specific issue, then we try to escalate the issue with the team.
Right.
It is our always priority to make sure to share and bounce ideas when we're trying to resolve issues. One thing I learned, Rafi, working with a development team, is that before I usually tend to be the to solve as if I really know everything before I go into the meeting. But what I really learned is that instead of trying to be the smartest guy in the meeting, in the room, you have to focus on solving the problem instead. So you don't really have like I have to know what's going on before. You just have to try to solve the problem instead of being the smartest guy in the room. So that's one thing I learned actually. Working a lot with the team.
Right.
So we share issues, and then after sharing the issues, we try to try to resolve if there are also missed steps. Because we usually have a playbook, and then if there are issues, we can try to check our playbook. Okay, so this is it. We check our playbook, and then after all that, then we still continue discussing until we get to a solution.
All right. And now that we are, I of course Tutorials Dojo is a what you servicing a worldwide customer base, no? And I would assume that your team could be also working remotely. How do you work remotely?
Yeah, that's kind of new also for me to do remote work, because I used to work with a office. We report to the office time. So working remotely was kind of new at first, because you have to over communicate. I think the key is to always over communicate, because there are times that there are things that you want to explain, and then you actually done some of the steps, but you did not try to discuss it on a communicate when you send messages. So I think the key, we're also working with remotely, is over communication. It's I kind of like it, doing over communication, because I like to give details a lot when I try to when I communicate. So it was kind of fun. It's kind of fun doing it. And then, though it comes with challenges also, because since I'm the only person in my room, so I don't get to interact, because when you go to the office, there are small talks, you kind of try to mingle with people, and you can also get to do other activities other than just work. You go
Right,
because
right.
I play basketball also. So I usually play a lot, like 3-4 times a day.
Mm.
But of course, it's not because of the remote work entirely, but it's also because of the pandemic. But those are the things that are not there anymore. But hopefully, of course, pandemic will be it will be better for us. And then remote work. What else?
Maybe you can
I
highlight
think the
some
one.
tools, no tools, or maybe some maybe procedures or tools procedures. Like, do you have a checklist that you do?
Yeah. Okay. So tools. So normally we work with boards, with Trello boards, uh, and then Slack.
Mm,
So we keep the communication simple, and then the tracking of our work really simple, but at the same time, constant follow up. So whenever there are tasks that should be done, those are added to a project management software like Trello. And then we add those tasks, and then we also do meetings on a weekly basis, and then as per needed. Say for example, there are features that needs to be discussed,
mhm.
or maybe there are things that there needs to be a consensus before we come up to a solution. So we do those meetings via uh, Google Meet or Skype, depending on the availability. Where's faster, and then so those are the tools that we use to manage the team, and to delegate also the tasks for everyone.
Right, right. Um, Now let's go back, no, and ask how you got started on your IT career. Was this
Mm-hmm.
ever since you were little, or when you were young?
Mm-hmm.
No, when you were young, did you always aspire to be in the IT field?
Yeah. So it's kind of a funny story, because when I was in high school, I was already fond of of computers, but I didn't really have the chance to explore, because
Mm,
we're coming from a less privileged family, so it was kind of hard to get access to that.
right.
But
And when you say you had fun in computers, was it like, playing computer games, or was it like kasi iba yung computers, no?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kaka-computer mo yan, di ba? Iba yun, no?
Yeah. I did enjoy playing games, but I knew I wanted to learn more about it, how it works.
Mm,
But I never get the chance a lot, because I was not able to, not because these are things that are not taught in school.
mm,
So and I don't have access to internet before a lot. So uh, it was kind of hard for me to learn more about it.
right, right.
So when I tried to when I graduated high school, I was looking for schools, and then one of the schools, I actually took an exam for STI
Mhm.
Tacloban, because I'm from Tacloban City, Leyte. And then I actually got a scholarship there for computer engineering.
All right.
But then I also took an exam here in Cebu.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here in Cebu right now. It's a year course, information technology course. So I was kind of deciding
Right.
what school to choose.
Mm.
You know what? Because everybody would think I would go for the computer engineering right away. 100% uh,
Scholarship, right?
scholarship, and then But then I decided I want to go to Cebu, because the entrance exam for this school, the name of the Center for Industrial Technology and Enterprise, it focuses more on discipline rather than the technical skills, but pride in technical skills a lot.
Mm.
So I was thinking, if I stay here in Tacloban, I'd be just going with my friends, I'd be comfortable. So I
Right.
wanted to be uncomfortable, try to make sure that I'll be more responsible, because
Mm-hmm.
at that time I was also, I played a lot, basket played a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking to Cebu, And then the 3-year program is actually 1.5 in school, 1.5 in the industry.
Okay.
So for 1.5 year, I tried to learn my skills. Basically just the entry level skills: HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, Cake PHP, because Cake PHP was in during that time. So that was part of our curriculum. And then I was able to work on the second half of my 3 years in our school as a practice teacher, and then as a technical support in GMC, General Milling Corporation. So with that, but I was not into the development. I was not given an option, an OGT for development, but I really wanted to do that
Okay.
way before. So after that, I graduated, and then my first work was actually for a publishing company in here in Cebu. It was 10 minutes the page. It was formerly 10 minutes the page. They are not. The website is not up anymore. But it's that page, and then I worked as a content creator and website developer.
Okay.
So so I got the chance to work as a website developer. Now, I was really lucky to have a mentor by that time that who was into blogging, because I really like to join outside activities, like
Right.
activities after school. So I think that really helped me a lot. I tried to join blogging events, tried to get to know more people in the blogging industry, because they also know how to, they work with websites also. And then luckily I landed my first job as a content creator and website developer there. And then for 2 years, I did that work, and then after that I decided to teach.
Right.
Then I was given the chance again to teach in the same school that I graduated from. So I taught software development subjects there, mainly object-oriented programming, structured programming, data structures, or anything, subjects related to programming. I was also able to, because we have this project before, that there was a sponsor, and then we trained 101 IT professionals.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that wanted to change their career from hardware into software development, because we really felt like software development is gonna be really strong in the next few years.
Yes.
There's a lot of application to that. It's not just website application. There's mobile application, and there's machine learning and all. So we really thought it would be good to supply, since we have the sponsor for the project. So it would be good to create a program for IT professionals all over Cebu. And we were able to do that actually. And then
That's
after
amazing,
that,
no?
some
Amazing
of them were actually, yeah, because to do that also, we actually had a consultation from a developer in London. He was the one who designed the course for us. So in that time, I actually learned a lot also. Aside from the existing skill set that I had, I was able to have the opportunity to learn how to teach the stack.
Right.
But and then after 5 years of working as teacher, I decided I want to try going into the industry now. And then check it out, because there's a lot of opportunities also. So this is where I am right now. I tried to apply with the team for the full stack position, and then I got the work as a full stack developer. Aside from that, actually, I was also working on some side gigs. And I think the main factor that got me in was actually the side gigs. As I was doing side projects, and it helped me a lot also to build my portfolio.
Right. No? Speaking about what you mentioned, no? Yung side gigs and having a portfolio. And you mentioned that this is like a big contributing factor for you to be being hired, no? What did you do, or what did you have to show to Sir John that in terms of portfolio, or maybe like how many portfolio did you have to show uh, to be presentable, to be hired, no?
So when I did the interview with John,
Hmm.
I I showed my best work actually. Normally you would put all of the work that you had before, but I decided it's also important that you only show those work that you are confident to show.
Right.
So I basically had 3 websites up and running by that time, that were I was confident to show during the interview and the whole process. And then as to how was I able to get the job. I was one thing I really when I tried to start looking for work, I really knew that portfolio was really an edge because it shows how much you know. It shows what you can do, and then it will help you answer technical questions a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I prioritized, and the number two is to be of course, this is really underrated, but the way you send your CVs and then the way you respond to recruiters or to HR really matters a lot. In fact, it was one thing that they said to me, because I was really professional in it was in the communications during those process. It's kind of neglected a lot. Just send the CV and then no more messages and all. Just send the CV and that's it. But that actually also helped. In fact, that also helped us in doing our next hires.
Mm-hmm.
It is a really good measure also for us. Oh, okay, so this guy is really professional. He really communicates well. And then one thing is, I tried to, as much possible, just give the value I can give to the company with the skill set that I have. And also, I think John was also looking. I was also coming from an education background,
Right.
and Tutorials Dojo is an edtech company,
Correct.
so it's still related to education. So I think that was also one thing that helped me get there. But John was really mentioning a lot that it was my portfolio really you know uh, really was also one of the main factors actually
Mm-hmm.
when he made the decision. So I do think that portfolio really helped me a lot, and I'm so thankful also for the guys who trusted me to make those websites.
Right, right, right. So your last question I have, no, is basically advice, no. So to our viewers that are watching, no, who are potentially maybe thinking about, as you mentioned, they could be going into the IT career from another career, or they're just about to go into the workforce. What's your advice to them?
So one is to be hungry to learn. I really think you really have to have that energy to be hungry to learn new things
Mm-hmm.
and new stuff, and don't get scared to and don't get too overwhelmed right away when there are new things that you want to learn. And then because that's one thing uh, I really I really struggle, but at the same time work on it.
Mm-hmm.
I really make sure though I that I'm overwhelmed with all the information. At still the same time try to see it through.
Right.
And then aside from that is that uh, practical advice, build your portfolio. You really have to build your portfolio. Show it in any way. You can set up a website, spend a little amount to make your website up. In that way also you will learn. In fact, you will learn a lot of things when you're trying to build your portfolio. Start small. Don't start small. Start working with really small projects, small projects for yourself, small projects for other people.
So again, audience, if you like the advice or you resonate with the story, no, always feel free to message us below, right? You can comment, and if let's say you are maybe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can also, message me as well as the author. No? So before we goodbye to our audience, Chris, do you have any last shout out?
Shout out to our team in Tutorials Dojo. John, Stace, Kaloy, and to all our admin staff, for building the Tutorials Dojo platform for IT certification. And if you guys are interested to also get your IT certifications from cloud providers like AWS, Azure, in fact, and Google Cloud Platform, you can always check out our website, portal.tutorialsdojo.com, and then you can try to check out our reviewers if you want to prepare for your exams.
Right.
So that's it.
All right, no, and audience, I believe this is a purely Filipino team. No, it's a world class EdTech solution that's really on purely. It's really world class, I would say. No, you have hundreds hundreds of thousands or even millions of students built by Filipinos. Now, I sometimes look at it like, if I remember Quick Labs when I met their team, I believe they were like their size was like, and they were already global, no, around 5 to 6 people only. Parang I look at it, it's like Tutorials Dojo also, no? It's a global company used by hundreds and millions of students. And it's still a very much lean team as well. All right, so thank you again so much. And our audience, hope you have a good day.
Bye.
And of course, if you like our content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell.